If you have an Elgato, a RetroTink, and a Chungus monitor, you can actually use those all together for a pretty spiff recording setup that actually will allow you to enjoy the pixeliness of the CRT display as is visible on the screen right now. You wanna see how? Then keep watching, I guess. A small little addendum, I didn't have the chance to show it, but you actually need one more little dongle as pictured on the screen. This is a VGA to HDMI adapter, not a converter, an adapter. That's the important part. Let's move on. In order to get started, first connect your console onto RetroTink 5X. Then connect the RetroTink 5X via HDMI into the input of Elgato HD60S Plus. If you have a different capture device, this may work slightly differently. Then take the dongle I shown on the spinning picture and connect it to the pass-through port of your recording device. From there, connect the other end of the dongle onto the VGA cord of your CRT monitor. And you're done with this part. Now on the software side of things, we're gonna want to start with the RetroTink 5X, otherwise all of our settings make no freaking sense. We want to pick our input. In this case, it's component because I have a PS2 game on here connected through the component cable. Then we want to make sure we have the output resolution set to 480p. Now you may be wondering, why would I want to do that? Because the RetroTink's main thing is actually upscaling things. As I'm going to show you later, there is a good reason when in the context of recording something using a CRT. So leave it as such. Also, if you're recording a PAL game, 480p actually encompasses 576p as well. So don't need to keep switching that. Now, the next part is horizontal sampling. In case of interlaced resolutions in 480p, it actually doesn't give you any options regardless of whether or not you disable or enable it. Nothing actually makes a difference. So you can just forget about it. It does give you some options when playing around with progressive resolutions, but it's just sampling modes which you may or may not want to use, since they're sort of unreliable. Now, this is it for the RetroTink. Now, I already have it set up on the OBS's end. This is the next step correctly. And that may actually, it will probably not appear like this when you first launch it. It will look like this. And well, this part is going to make a little bit more sense in a moment. So you may be thinking there is something awfully wrong here. No, that's actually just how the Elgato reads 480p or 480i resolutions, as I have found out. There's nothing wrong with it, and in fact, it is a very good thing because it prevents a lot of upscaling thingamajigs when it comes to stretching the resolution to its correct dimensions. We want to make sure, however, that we set it up to be more of a human resolution, because what it is currently using is 1440 on 480. Now I'm going to fix this by making it 1440 on 960, which is double the 480. And because this is an NTSC game, I stick it on 60 FPS. Now, this is still not fixed. We just have a huge black bar at the bottom. What we're gonna wanna do is just right-click, transform, and stretch to fit the screen. Now, if you have evil eyes and the compression hasn't killed everything, you may notice that the picture has gotten slightly fuzzy, and that is because we have upscaled it from here. And what we're going to want to do is actually select point upscaling. Now, it may not look different at all for you right now, but trust me, this actually makes a world of difference. And it ensures that you are still getting the same quality results as if you were using the upscaling from RetroTink 5X. Now, before I get distracted and sidetracked, I want to explain why picking 480p is so integral to getting the CRT experience, because it doesn't actually matter for your recording. You can record just fine in 1080p. It will be just fine, just the same on the OBS side. This is purely just for your pleasure. And why is it for your pleasure? Well, let's take a look at some pictures I've made of the screen. So this is 480p. It doesn't really look that much different unless we were to zoom in. I can't really zoom in very well on here, but I have made the picture closer. And you can see like how everything just like sort of just goes into place just perfectly as it was always meant to be, because all the pixels, there's like the exact number of pixels that there have always been meant to be. Now here's the same picture, just with RetroTink set up to upscale it to 1080p. And it is a hell of a lot fuzzier. Like, it's not actually fuzzier, that's the thing. On the recording, it will look perfectly fine. It will be exactly the same if you followed the settings that I've shown up. But it will just not look as good on your screen, on your viewing end. Will just like the pixels, like each one pixel is literally gonna be 4 pixels. That's not as fun as being like exactly 1 pixel, obviously. Now, it's very hard to get an actual sharp picture of any of these, especially when you have a budget phone like I do. But trust me, it just doesn't look as cool as this when you're sitting right there and playing it. Now I have some more comparisons. Very shaky, very disorganized, and very ugly because I have a very shitty camera. Now this is a Dreamcast game, Illbleed, if you've ever heard of it. It's awesome. It's the best. But yeah, here's more examples of like wow, how neat it looks like when you zoom it all the way in. This is a game that natively supports VGA, but I just connected through the RetroTink because it's just a matter of convenience. Results remain exactly the same in this scenario. But yeah, as you can see, I get the exact same picture on both ends. This is not some smoke and mirrors that I set up to misguide you and, like, I don't know, use AI or some stuff like that. Now here we have some footage that I made of Magic Pen Gel. This is a 480i game, which is actually getting de-interlaced, similarly to the Gundam game I shown before. Thankfully, RetroTink is excellent at de-interlacing, so you barely notice anything. Although the game does have a lot of jaggies in it, but who cares? It's the exact number of pixels as there are supposed to be. Now, when it comes to games that, like for example, Lament of Innocence, Castlevania Lament of Innocence, if you force 480p, the game is going to be, the dimensions are going to be completely out of whack. You can still fix it using the settings on your CRT, just like squish the screen or stretch it, depending on what's available. There is a limit to how much you can squish or stretch, but generally the dimensions are not screwed up so hard that you can't really do it, that it's unworkable. Here I have an example of another PS2 game called Firefighter FD20 something or other. This is like one of the best simulators of a firefighter who has schizophrenia and thinks that fire kidnapped his sister. But also, he looks really spiff in pixels, as you can see. Like, look at how, like, it just all falls into place. It's like Connect 4, but it's Connect like 2 megapixels roughly. But yeah, this is what it looks like on the CRT end. See how everything has its designated spot on the grid. It's like very satisfying. And here is what it actually looks like on an LCD. You may prefer this look. It's cleaner actually, but and as you can see, this is basically perfect recording quality. Aside from me pointing the camera at my monitor, obviously this looks better in on the actual recording. But yeah, this is something I'm probably going to put up next to each other. Like let's just say I'm gonna put it up right here, a side by side of what both of these look like. Now, one thing I should mention, I have tried it out also with 240p games, specifically with ICO, because that's the only thing I had at hand that is in 240p. And yeah, I'm gonna say that's another recommendation, because these old-ass CRTs don't actually work with 240p. The CRT TVs do. CRT monitors, not so much. Some of them may actually upgrade the 240p image into 480p on their own in order to display it. But it doesn't always happen, and the results are somewhat underwhelming. You can add scanlines if you really hate yourself and you want to ruin your recording as well. Also, I should mention that if you are using scanlines, like added scanlines, on a PC CRT monitor, it's just not going to look good, because they aren't as bright as the TVs usually were, or as the PVMs are. So you're just going to get a very, very dim picture. So that's one thing where I would either say just keep it as is, or just don't do scanlines. Then don't ever do scanlines. It's awful. And now I tried to do a little bit of a lag test here, but I ended up doing a better one on the ill bleed side actually. And let's just see. I used the main character's elbow as a reference point. Once she starts moving, like here. So let's just say this is where her elbow still has a gap in it. And let's see on the computer side of things. 1, 2, 3, roughly. It's roughly 3 frames of difference. Some people may say it's a humongous difference. Other ones may say, whatever. I'm on the whatever side. I'm not doing this for input lag. I'm doing this because it looks fucking cool. So that will be it for this disorganized video. And thank you very much if you stayed this long. Goodbye.